Can you guys tell us about any encounters you had with any of Chapo or Mayo's sons? Some of those guys are the ones in charge in Mexico now. Thanks, Shael. Salute to you. Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, if they hear our story, they'll see our interactions with them. Listen to the podcast again. You'll see our interactions with them, and obviously Vicente is like the biggest one of them all, and he's somewhere out here, free man. Wish him the best, and wish him and his family the best. He did what he had to do as well, and totally different situations. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he had permission from people to do it, and I didn't.
You hear that, y'all? He had permission. There was a sit down amongst the bosses, and they told their sons, go talk.
Yeah, people don't want to understand. Like one of the main stories will come out later. I don't want to give everything away, but there's an attorney that was like making these deals for them. And when you hear those things, it kind of it scared me. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, man, they're making deals to turn in people. How are we gonna be safe? And not only when I say they gave permission, they assisted on that cooperation. You know, like a third party. You know what I mean? Which is common in the government. Someone could make someone could pass information along to the feds
They're
and help
part of
their
the
buddy out.
deal. They're to sweeten the deal.
Yeah.
Ask him how they treat fans in real life. Fans, like fans of the Twins, have you ever run into like a fan? Like somebody that peeped you from the podcast or from your story or YouTube, or not necessarily somebody that know you from the past, but
I'm not comfortable with. It's weird for me to feel like, oh, someone's a fan. I did have interaction before, and it's kind of confusing because you kind of want to be like, where are you coming from with this shit? Like you want to say what's up, or you want like what you want to do?
right.
You don't know if they want to attack you or shake your hand. You know what I mean? So that's kind of awkward.
Gilberto Melgarejo said, "Do you think Chapo still has the stash houses full of money in Mexico that his kids don't know of?"
I can't say that, but but I'm sure he owns a lot of property still. The only thing, if he can't trust his sons, then who can he trust? And honestly, if that was me, I mean, why wouldn't you give him whatever money you had left? You can't use it. They need it more than you do.
So miss me with the pomp and circumstance, y'all. These dudes were sitting down having whole sit downs on how to make it right to have everybody do some talking. And they were part of them deals. So get them off the high horse. We'll keep talking about it, keep pushing the issue, but
And again, I'm not justifying. Everyone could do what they think is best for themselves. And I just you don't have to learn the hard way like we did. Sitting there with money in your hand and still fearing for your life or fearing for your family's safety. Like, that's not a way to live.
right.
And I don't care how bad you are, there's someone out there who's worse.
Always. Junior said, Twins, how important was your father and y'all becoming who y'all were? And what's one thing that y'all remember about him?
Well, I mean, he introduced us to this whole life. There's a lot of things we had to learn on our own once we got like bigger, but like the foundation was was what he made for us. And one thing I always remember my dad saying, and it runs through my mind a lot, was that he didn't want us to do three things, and I've said it before. He said, "Don't be no homosexuals, don't be no rats or no thieves, and y'all be right with me." And I think about that, like, did he really mean that all the way? Is that what I can't look at my son and feel like I would tell him that?
Hmm. Right. Put him in the game?
Yeah, no, put him in the game. Like, that's the only thing that I care about, that you're not a rat, a homosexual, or a thief. Like, I mean, and I'll be proud of you. And I just, I want so much more for my own children. And I want to, I want to love my kids, a little better than he loved us. That's for sure. And, he loved us in his own way, but it was obviously broken.
If I may ask, salutes and blessings to the twins and their families and their wives. How do they
Amen.
feel?
Thank you.
How do they feel about all the parents bringing young daughters to them to marry? Again, part of the conversation that we started with. You know, the things that you see that some people believe are part of a culture.
Well, I said that before. I mean, it's the culture is different, and I guess my wife would be mad and stuff, and it felt like I can understand that they're living complete poverty, and they're thinking, you know what, they could save, my daughter, my family, which is the way things are done in a lot of countries.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't, we're our culture is different, so we can't really relate to it, but I'm sure a lot of people in different places understand that.
Do you feel that somebody like Chapo, what we see as a child abuser, is that something different to them? I'm looking at him. He's a child abuser.
Well,
He's a pedo.
yeah, I mean, to us, it's look, man. I always used to think like, man, why do you want some young ass girl? I want like a grown ass woman. But it's shocking to see that they felt like some, I don't know, man, like a trophy, like or something, to feel like they were with a young underage girl that's never had sex before. To me, that's disgusting. But in some cultures, they'll say like a 15-year-old woman, she could get married, and that's the norm. But we're used to, we don't. I mean, it's obviously not something that I accept here. It's not the norm for me. And even younger than that, that's what's disgusting about them too.
Mm. That's why I feel like anybody who's like, I picked a side. Chapo's my guy. It's like, what are we talking about here? Anybody who's guilty of that, to me, they done lost me on their team, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are picking
Hmm.
and choosing. So I can't take your opinion on other things seriously if you picking and choosing in that sense. Pete, once you started flipping birds, did you ever think it would be as easy as it was?
When people relate it to like being on the street as easy, that kind of bothers me. There's nothing easy about you know, being on the street and trying to make money. I mean, it looks like it's easy, but it's not. I think people get that idea like, oh, everyone on the street is making money. I knew a lot of broke ass drug dealers, that's for sure.
So did I.
And I'm not I'm not like putting them down. I'm just saying it's not easy.
No, it's not.
You know, and every day, you like I said, you're fighting the haters, the stick up man, the feds.
Mm.
It's just so much, that so many variables that come into play that make it hard for you.
Right. Was there ever a thought of, man, can we do this? Or was it always, oh, we could do this?
It was a challenge, but we felt like we could do it. And I guess the distinction for my brother and I was always like, could we do it better? Like when we're grabbing work in Chicago, we're like, man, well, why can't we go get it ourselves? Why can't we? Even early on, like, why they doing it? Why can't we do it?